Welcome to another edition of Candis Live. As always, it is fantastic to be here with you. Now, I have a question for you. How has your week been? How have you been? You know what? Doesn't matter. Let's talk. Let's chat. Come on in. You know, when I was a kid, we would go on the beach and we would stand on the shore. And we would look along the shore to find a pebble, you know, that perfect pebble. Because what we were going to do, we were going to skip those pebbles across the water. I don't know if you've ever done that, but here in the Bahamas, we have so many lovely beaches. It's irresistible. You have to take a pebble and you have to skip it, right? So when I was a kid, I used to love doing that. Scour the beach to find just the right pebble. And then once I got it in my hand, I would size myself up towards the water and be like, yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna get that pebble to skip once, skip twice, skip 3 times. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then with all my might, I would throw that stone, and oftentimes the stone would just bloop, plop in the water, and that's the end of it. The thing is, I've done this so many times in my life that you would think that I would have gotten bored or I'd been discouraged because my pebble just bloop in the water. But it's not so. It's not so. And here's why. See, one thing I learned about that experience, that constant reoccurring experience, is that you have to keep trying until you accomplish what it is you set out to accomplish. You know, walk with me. Walk with me, okay? Picture it. Yes, I'm back to Sicily. I'm back to the Golden Girls. If you don't know the reference, check YouTube out. Sicily. Picture it. 2014, picture it. 2008. But we're going to picture it. The Bahamas, 2021. And you're here with me on Candis Live. So imagine this. We're on the beach, right? And we're scouring the beach for this perfect stone. And we found it. This is my stone here. This is my perfect stone that I took the time and found on the beach. Now, when I went to look for this stone, I started to think about what it is I wanted to accomplish with this. You know, what was the effect that I wanted this stone to have? And so, you know, I had to make sure it was smooth. Listen, if you're skipping stones, having a smooth stone is key. I had to make sure, man, when I put that in my thing, ooh, I got to tuck in there tight. You know how it is. You know how it is. You want to skip stones too? I got to tuck it in there tight. And I took my hand a couple times and I threw it towards the water. Woo, yeah. I feel it. Oh yeah, this feel like the stone. This feel like the stone. And before I threw it, I decided I would keep it because I wanted to talk to you about this stone. And here's what I wanted to tell you about this stone. You know how sometimes in life you desire things. You desire opportunities. You desire to go beyond what you've always known. There are things about you that are private that you don't tell anyone. There are things that you decide, hey, I want to accomplish this for myself. This is my measure of success, not the job, not the car, not the home, not the college degree, but this is my personal measure of success. The measure that, hey, I can't admit to anyone else about what I desire, what fulfills me. But I understand within myself, if I accomplish that thing, then I will feel whole, then I will feel complete. So imagine that this stone is that thing. You've searched all of your life to find your stone, your thing, the thing that defines you, the thing that when you do that, the essence of who you are just emanates from it, just pours out from it, that thing. And that's what this stone represents, okay? Remember, follow me. This is that private measure of success. This is that thing that When you go to bed at night, after you've done all of the things that you needed to do in order to live in this world and exist in this world and be successful according to everyone else's standard, this is the thing that when you accomplish this, you will feel whole. You will feel successful. You will feel as though you have lived for the first time, having expressed, having drawn out the thing that defines you as a person. And see, just like how I was on that shoreline and I was searching for the stone, that was me searching for my purpose. Many a times I was in situations, I was on jobs, I was at church, I was in, family functions, family gatherings where I was trying to find myself and find my place in these situations. And I just never fit. Never fit. No matter how much I agreed, disagreed, went along, got along, didn't get along, I just never fit. And the reason I never fit was because I was always trying to just go along to get along. I was never trying to say, hey, listen, you know what? This is me. This is me. This is the thing that I bring to the table. This is the thing that I have to offer. I was never thinking like that. But whilst I was on that shoreline, I started to think about it. If I was to offer myself up, if I was to show myself to the world, how would that look? How would that look? What would I give to the world that would change the tides? And I think about it. I think about it often, and I think about it constantly. And then I picked up a stone and I said, you know what, this is going to be a reminder of my decision to find out what it is that I can give to the world that is authentically me that will transform the world. So listen, here's how we're going to do this. See, because I want you to be able to walk through this process when you're home alone. Hell, when you're on the beach, that's the best place to do this. When you are on the beach having a moment to yourself, I want you to walk the shores and find yourself your perfect stone. Feel it. It has to be smooth. It has to be the right size. It has to fit in the grip of your fingers. Okay. It has to have that nice balance. And I know it seems like a lot for just a stone. But when I tell you what we're going to do with the stone, you're going to understand the importance of picking the right stone. Now remember, this stone is a representation of the authentic you. The authentic you. The you that you and only you see, the you that you and only you know. The you that no one else can define, because why? It is not something that they get to view. It is only for you. And so we've picked our stone, and let's imagine that we're standing on the shoreline and we're going to position ourselves. So when you position yourself, that means that you take absolutely everything that you have learned, everything that is you, and you look at the world and you decide, what direction should I go in to aid in me being my authentic self in this world? Now remember, that authenticity has nothing to do with what anyone else is thinking about you, has seen as it relates to you, or has decided that this is you. It has nothing to do with that. It's all about you and your perception of who you are. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're standing on the edge of the water, right? And we're looking out into the deep blue, or the light blue, because we're in the Bahamas, so it's light blue. We're looking out into the light blue. And as you look out onto the horizon beyond the blue, I want you to keep something in mind, okay? Imagine this. Imagine that the minute you're able to throw this stone and it hits the water, that it creates a ripple effect. Now that's what happens, okay? If you drop the stone right at your feet, a ripple will occur. If you toss the stone far out, a ripple would occur. But here's the deal. When it comes to who you are authentically and what you're able to give to the world, every single time you show up in a situation and you are authentically yourself, you create a ripple in the world. You create a ripple in the water. And the water is the world. Now, I know we never think about exactly how much of an impact we make, right? But now we're standing at this water's edge with our perfect stone, our ideas of who we are and what we've settled on as who we are. And we are now going to demonstrate how our authenticity will affect the world. And so now I want you to square off your shoulders, set your feet apart, one more to the front and one to the back. Hold the stone in your hand, and I want you to draw back. Draw back. Look at your stone, and then look at where you're shooting at. And the reason we're looking at our stone and then looking at where we're shooting at is because a lot of times when you position yourself to take aim at something, you oftentimes forget what it is you're throwing and where you intend for your shot to land. And so when you're throwing this stone, when you're giving yourself to the world, you have to remember, this is me, authentically. You have to remember that when your stone moves from back here and it comes around the front and you let it go into the ocean, that it is all you that is going into the ocean. That your ideas, your skills, your creativity, everything that is you goes into the ocean. And it doesn't matter if your stone falls right at your feet and just hits the edge of the water, or if it goes far into the ocean and it skips, hitting the water, bouncing off, and ripples bursting out to the side, one after the other after the other. None of this matters. You know the thing that matters? The thing that matters is that you've chosen your stone, that you've positioned yourself to throw your throw, to be yourself in this world, that you haven't forgotten that as you live in this world, you are putting into it everything that is you. You're putting into it everything that is you. You're pulling out your authenticity and putting it into the world, giving the world everything that is you. And regardless of whether or not they value it, your authenticity, your uniqueness, the essence of who you are, will create a ripple effect. There will be people that will come in contact with you, whose lives will be changed because you showed up. Poop! You're a stone in the water. Poop! You showed up. There are people who will make decisions about the path that they are on because you showed up. There are things that are happening in your workplace that will be transformed because you know what? You showed up. Or when you get into that frame of mind that says, okay, you know what? Maybe I didn't, give that a real throw. Maybe I didn't put my all into that. And if you didn't throw your stone too far, you can walk into the water, pick it up, bring it back to the shore. And this time, with your serious face on, you can really throw it out there. See, the beautiful thing about throwing your own stone is this. You have an opportunity to adjust, readjust, throw as hard as you want, go as far as you think you could possibly go, or don't go anywhere. You have that opportunity. You can make that choice. And the other beautiful thing about throwing your stone is this. When you have given it your all, when you've taken the time to seek within yourself to find out, who am I? What do I have to offer to myself, first and foremost? What do I have to offer to the people immediately around me that I care about? What do I have to offer to the world? That's you choosing your stone. And once you've got your stone in hand, then you decide what shores you're going to stand on. Okay? And when I say what shores you're going to stand on, I mean which position in your life are you going to take that is going to transform you for that next throw? Are you going to position yourself in your home country where you know the lay of the land? Are you going to position yourself on a new job because you feel as though the one that you are on is just holding you too tight and you need room to breathe, grow, expand on opportunities? Are you going to reposition yourself and decide, you know what, maybe it's time for me to have children? Or are you going to position yourself and say, you know what, children was a good idea. I don't think that's for me. I don't think that's for me. That path is not for me. Where are you going to position yourself? And the thing about throwing these stones, right, is that they only work perfectly when you are perfectly honest with you. This honesty has nothing to do with the way people will respond to your choice, but has everything to do with you living with the decisions that you've made. Every single time you pick up your stone, wherever it is, remind yourself that every single decision you make has to first and foremost be your decision, your choice, your path. And the reason this is important is because the energy that is going behind the throwing of the stone or the pursuit of an opportunity, that is coming from you. That is coming from you. That's not external. That's not waiting on external inspiration. That's not looking at what someone else has done. But that's solely looking at you, looking at the creation that is you, accepting that you are wonderful. I mean, you are a magnificent work of art. Designed, constructed, conceptualized. Conceptualize before time was and is, simply to exist in this world at a level at which none of us, we can't comprehend. And you know why we can't comprehend it? Because we're you. I am not you. I cannot understand your brilliance to the level at which you can understand it. And the only way to translate it into a format that I can appreciate is for you to first of all appreciate it. It's for you to first of all grab your stone, pick it up, be like, yeah, you see this? This me. This is me. Okay? This is me. All right? Now, I've already talked to you about throwing the stone. You know, it's okay if it drops at your feet. Just make sure it hits the water. If you throw it far, it's okay. If you throw it medium weight, it's okay. And let me tell you why it's okay. Let me give you another reason why it's okay. Because regardless of where you throw it, every single ripple that you make will turn into a wave. And I know it seems ridiculous that I would say that. But every single ripple that you make will be transformed into a wave. And here's why. Whilst you're throwing your stone and focusing on what you are designed and created to do in this earth, the person on the side of you, positioned, picked up their stone, and they're throwing too. And do you know, when ripples collide, baby, I'm telling you, when ripples collide, the movement in the ocean becomes rapid. When you are doing you and he is doing him and she is doing her and everyone is doing it according to the greatness that is in them without dampening anyone else's greatness, but edifying everybody else, this is what happened. The ripples come. And I know some people are scared of waves. But here's the thing about waves. Listen, here is the thing about waves. Waves crash on the shore and they bring life to the shore, or they dispense with death. But here's another thing that waves do. Waves take life into the world. It takes life into the world. You know, baby turtles hatching on the shorelines. They make their way to the seashore and it takes life into the world. Here on the islands, if you are unwell, if you have a head cold, if you have whatever ailing you, you know what Grammy say? Grammy say, get up in the morning, early in the morning, go down to the ocean and go take a dip. It will revive you. And Grammy is so right. Going into the ocean, it revives you. It revives you. Being in the midst of those crashing waves, the waves washing over your body, it revives you. And what I simply mean by that is that sometimes you have to dive into what other people are doing without losing a sense of who you are and what you have brought to the ocean side. Listen, from now on, every single time that you become discouraged and you start thinking about conforming to what everyone else is doing, going along to get along, when you start to look at the ocean and you see everyone else throwing their stone and you're like, oh, maybe I can't throw it that far. Maybe I'm not going to make a ripple. Remember this. Remember this. There is room for you. The only way these waves are going to get big and things are going to change and things are going to be transformed and become beautiful and great and expansive and glorious is if you show up. Stone in hand, positioned. You got it, positioned. Not forgetting who you are and where you're going. And throwing your stone. That's what it is. Throw your stone. Choose your stone. Decide who you are. Show up to work, all you. Show up to church, all you. Show up to the food store, all you. No matter where you show up, make sure you show up, all you. And when you show up, all you, remember, it has nothing to do with anybody else. Give your best. Throw your stone. Make your ripples. Change the world by just existing and being gloriously you. Until next time, throw your stone. Thank you for joining me once again for Candis 5. Now, I hope you got that message. I'm going to repeat it one more time just for you. Choose your stone. Authentically you. Position yourself. It don't matter. Work, school, play, wherever it is. Position you to be the best you. And most importantly, throw that stone, baby. Throw it and create change daily. Until next time, I love you.